You see that we go live on 21.6 the net. Hey, hi, how was everybody out at YouTube land? Stick with us. Coming right up in about 3.5 minutes. You guessed it, McHenry County BS with Hosticka Insurance Group. And we'll go live here on the Book of Face. 3, 2, 1. Facebook Live. How are you? Welcome to McHenry County BS. Give us about 3 minutes. We're going to go live. Of course, look at this. We've got Hosticka Insurance Group with us.
They're here.
This is going to be a fun one today. Good people, good friends. We won't bring up that I've seen your backswing.
Yeah, thank you.
Or that she beat me at golf. Yeah,
We won't bring that up.
We won't bring that up
If I remember
either.
the score.
That's right. We won't bring that up at all. I think her score was about equal to how many balls I lost that.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
It was a rough day.
It was a rough day. So if you can share that out to your pages if you want to. We got about 2 minutes. Alex Kolkowski
Joined. He's listening.
Of course, not present today, but going to come in kind of virtual with us. The other host of the show. He's out there helping small businesses digitally market and make their businesses better. Sal Villalobos, all the way from Texas. How are you? Stick with us. McHenry County BS coming right up in about a minute and a half. So we'll go live on 21.6 net. If you're out there on YouTube and or our Facebook, feel free. Go to feel free to go to www.216thenet.com. Hit the listen live. You could also download our app at the Apple Store or Google Play Store. And of course, check us out on our Facebook and YouTubes. But I'm talking to those because I'm not live on the radio yet. So going to be a fun day with Hosticka Insurance Group. And I'll change everything up on the title of that to give proper tip of the hat to of course Prime Media and Wella Finance. So, and you guys will be back next week. Are you going out of town?
I'll be here.
You'll be here?
It's on my calendar.
All right.
She may be busy, but I'll be here.
You're gonna love this. This is addictive.
It is.
You're gonna love it.
It is.
Yeah, you're absolutely gonna love this. Then you'll be mad at me for not bringing you in earlier.
Maybe.
That is fantastic. This would be good. Our 2 cents worth. You're the host of that, right?
Be on that tomorrow night.
We'll give that a shout out too. All right, stay with me. 765. Welcome to McHenry County BS, where we love the BS. I'm Kent Jones with 21.6 the net, and McHenry County BS is all about the small businesses that make McHenry County thrive. McHenry County BS is brought to you through the financial support of Prime Media Consulting, LLC. For more information about Prime Media Consulting, LLC, visit www.primemediaconsulting.com or give them a call at 847-752-0018. Now, let's dive into the BS. Business Spotlight, that is. Also, a big shout out to Wella Financial, also financially supporting this fantastic show. Check out Travis McDonald and team in just off the Woodstock Square at wellafinancial.com or 1-855-GET-WELLA. I think. Don't trust me on that number. I don't have it written down, but we'll get a new intro. Everything will be good. Today, we're continuing with the theme, of course, because November is open enrollment. This is a big deal for if you have an employer. This is when we're signing up for all the insurances and taking a look at retirement plans, all this good stuff. Very, very tickled today to have two great friends of mine here. You may recognize the man to my right, your left, Frank Hosticka. Frank is the co-host of our 2 Cents here on the show, and Frank, big part in launching 21.6 with a couple of connections that he made. So he's a big fan, longtime listener.
Oh yeah,
We always get him on.
back to day one.
That's it. and we absolutely love him for that. And of course his lovely bride, Christina, and Hosticka Assurance. What is it?
Hosticka Assurance Group.
Yeah, what is it?
We sell life insurance, long-term care, disability insurance, and Legal Shield and ID Shield.
There you go. So now this is a great thing that you do. And I love we golfed a couple times this summer at the golf league, and she whooped me. I'll be honest, she's got a pretty good game.
Yep.
And the wonderful thing is that you do with Hosticka Assurance Group. First time on the air.
Yeah, blew that one, didn't I? Yep, blew that one.
Oh my goodness. Is that you do it because you love it. This isn't, you haven't been doing this since you were, last year when you turned 19. This is just something you do because you just purely have the joy of helping people. So tell me a little bit about how Hosticka Assurance got started and why it got started.
All right. Well, it started when Frank and I first met in 2010, and he was selling Legal Shield and told me that I needed to have this. And
he told me that too, but I didn't marry him.
Yes. Well,
yeah.
Funny story is I quickly found out that if I wanted his attention, I needed to pay attention to what Legal Shield was, sure. And he paid attention to me, and somehow I roped him into marrying me. And,
there you go.
And then we kept working on.
That's the assurance part.
Yes. we worked on selling Legal Shield together, and then eventually we realized out here networking that we were stepping on each other's toes, meeting with the same people. Mm-hmm. And we had an experience with a life insurance agent that we had in the past who sold us a policy, then left the company, went to a different company, and then left that company and left the industry altogether. Okay. And we were confused and like, okay, what's wrong with the policy we had?
Right.
And kind of, decided that at that point that when we were looking to not step on each other's toes and expand what we were doing, let's work on selling life insurance because I want an agent that's not going to abandon me, disappear. So that's my goal, is to always, no matter where I am, to always stay in touch with my clients, and because I don't want to be that person that disappears.
Right on.
Yeah.
And what I've come to find out is what you two do is really is out of the joy of your heart. It isn't like you need the money. I mean, it's always good, right? And when I say that, you had a career in service, right? Public service. Can I say that?
Sure, you can.
I have no idea,
Same thing.
At 30 if you did either. But she just aged 11 years. So this is just something, and life insurance is like a 4-letter word for a lot of people. It turns a lot of people off. Like, I don't. I've got it through work. I don't need it. But you found a way to take something and really just help people, educate them, let them know, and take a look at what they have. You're not choking anybody for sales. You're not the greasy, car salesman or insurance salesman, the slick insurance salesman. And then through that, you found a way to add more things to your business, and that's the assurance part.
Well, my goal is to educate. And I know a lot of people say that, but when I first had a life insurance policy back in my previous life, I just got it because I knew I needed it. I knew nothing about it.
Right.
And then after I had gotten divorced, I canceled the policies. And then I was like, wait, why did I do that? I need to have a policy. And then I got a policy that now cost me more money and wasn't the right policy for me because I didn't understand. And I didn't understand
Right.
the person who was selling it to me. So it's like, I really want to make sure that everybody understands what life insurance, the purpose, they have it, and making sure that they have the right policy, because there's so many different ways to go and plan for the future. And I just like to help them navigate through it and talk to them in a way that they don't feel dumb. Because
Sure.
when I was first sold a policy, I didn't understand it and I felt really dumb.
Right.
And you feel dumb asking questions. So I just try to help people understand it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and a big part of that was, again, she got sold a policy by somebody who was, this is what you need, because that was the most translated into the most commission for the sales guy.
Right.
And then you come to find out, it wasn't really what she should have got based on her situation, with 3 children and a family and all that, and recently divorced, all those things. And, so yeah, she found out, this really wasn't what I should have gotten. And so, yeah, and people are confused. People think, they know what life insurance is. It's, I pay for it, and when I die, the people left behind get money.
Yep.
That's all but there's so much more. There's so many moving parts to life insurance. And now long-term care insurance is a big thing in the marketplace. And those are things that take a little more conversation with people, number one.
Yep.
Number two, it can be structured in many different ways for many different situations. And that's what Christina spends a lot of time doing, is figuring out exactly what you need.
Yeah. And Alex says that, their insurance agents are a dime a dozen. Why you? Why? I mean, a lot of young people like, hey, I'm going to get into insurance. I'm going to break it rich. I'm going to retire when I'm 45, whatever. Why you guys? Why should people do business?
Well, I'll
with
tell you one
guys?
thing. If you are just selling life insurance, you're not getting rich. Okay. So
Fair
it's
enough.
kind of proof right there that,
fair enough.
I'm the money is when you do investments, when you're a financial advisor, and that's why a lot of people do financial advising and life insurance together. And I really have no interest in financial advising at all. I don't. The money is not their money. Is not. There's other people who do way better at that, and I just want to help them with insurance, even though it's the money. I'm not getting rich.
Sure.
It's totally because I want to help them. I want to educate them, and I want to be there years after and answer their questions and make sure that they still understand. I have people that come back a year and a half later and say, what was it I had again? And why did I get this? And then I'm just helping them navigate and re-educate them on why they got what they got. And, and they feel better. And
yeah, instead of just saying that, don't worry about it, you're covered.
Yeah.
And
Right.
And again, in reviewing what they have and going, okay, what's changed in your
changed?
life where we might need to make some changes to what you have, add, subtract, whatever the case may be, because life changes. And as life changes, you need to make changes to it. So that's a big part of it.
So you could have at any time joined, like American Family or Allstate or Liberty Mutual. I mean, there's all these big insurance companies, quote unquote. Yet you decided to strike out and be your own house, right?
I did, yes.
Walk us through that a little bit, because that's a lot of people in the insurance industry would rather go to and be part of something that's, well, I'll get leads, that's well known. This is, where it'll be easy.
Right. Well, when you have a company that you work with, if you're not independent, you have to offer your clients what that company says. So I'm not going to throw out any names, but if you work for a company and they say, okay, here's how much this life insurance costs, and that's all you can offer them, unless they get unless they get denied, then you can probably shop outside.
Farm it out or something. Yeah.
But I have 30, 40 that I typically work with. There's tons and tons of life insurance companies out there, but I have the ones that I really like to work with. And those I got different types of policies and different things that work for some people and not for others. I've got riders, long-term care riders, all these things. And I just love that I can offer them all different kinds of things. And then we don't necessarily go with the cheapest. We go with, well, I really like working with this company. I think this would be a better option for you. And I kind of guide them. So I just love being able to give my clients choices.
So did you try one of those in the past, or is that just you did your research and said, well, if I work for American Family, I can only offer those things?
I looked into it. I tried for a little bit working for somebody. And even though one product was pushed, I could still go outside of that. And, and there's times where I chose outside of the one I was with. And then I decided that I was better off on my own.
Right.
Because people are buying from me.
Right.
So
instead of
the name that I'm with.
Right. Instead of the name on the door, which is awesome. And I think as we talk about entrepreneurs, you deal with a lot of entrepreneurs as well, that's one thing that sometimes we're afraid to do as an entrepreneur is really strike out on our own and say, well, maybe, I'm starting a new plumbing company. Maybe I should partner with the guy that I'm already in business with or as an employee and see, because I'm nervous to fail and I don't want to fail. But you said, well, all right, let me give it a try. Didn't fit right with where you sat and said, you know what, I'm better off doing this my way and the way that I want to do.
Right.
How difficult was that of a decision?
It was pretty easy.
Oh yeah.
I've learned that I like working for myself and telling myself what time I have to get up and be places and I don't have mandatory meetings to attend, unless, I choose to.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and a big thing to go along with that is quotas. You work for a company, and they're going to expect certain amount of production. Hey, how many policies have you sold this month? That's why they call you a producer. You have to produce. And when you're working for one company or one agency, they're going to want to see certain quotas met. And, that's not where we're coming from. Yes, we do it for the money. We'd be lying if we said we weren't doing it for the money. Yeah. Of course, we want to get compensated for what we do. But at the end of the day, it's not, hey, we're not leaving here today until we've got a sale made.
Right.
And that's the difference is we don't have that pressure on us that we have to make a sale today to make it work. So that's one of the things that go along with that. Alex asked the question, what's the difference between a captive and independent agent? And part of that is, one of them is you've only got one, you may only have a certain amount of products to sell and a certain company may only want certain types of customers, clients. And therefore you're limited on what you can offer people. As an independent, you can shop things around. Yes, it takes a little more work because you got to do some of that legwork and shop these things around, but you can shop things around and customize things to make the best fit for a particular person.
One of the things with that is people take, this is what's like the hardest thing about life insurance is that people take so long to decide. And sometimes it is a big decision. It is a big decision. And sometimes it's, sometimes it's pretty easy. And sometimes I look at it and I say, that's a pretty easy choice. And you should probably do it now because you're not getting any younger.
Right.
But I understand. And I never push people. It's just kind of there. It's all in their own in their own time.
Kicks them down the stairs sometimes, but she'll never push.
But one time I was meeting with another insurance agent who said, you know, he did it all. He did life insurance along with property and casualty insurance. And he said to me, well, my manager met with me today and said, I'm a little light on life insurance, my life insurance quota for the month. So he had 7 days, 10 days to sell a few more life insurance policies. And my heart just actually broke for these people that I don't even know who are going to get sold policies because this guy had to meet a quota. And I just like, it still bothers me today.
Absolutely.
Because I'm just like, who's getting a policy? Who's he talking to and convincing they need a policy that's probably not the right one?
Right on. So there's, and I ask this of everybody on the show, there's somebody in your life that said something sometime, Christina, to you that you've just held on to. It didn't have to be business related, but as you look at your business now, you use that in your business. So what was that somebody said to you that you kind of keep with you and it helps you in business today?
Well, there's a guy from he's pretty high up guy in a life insurance agency, company.
Yeah.
And he's a representative that goes around and talks to agents. And he met with me and he said, and this is when I was with the other company, and he said, why are you there? He said, you are good at what you do and people are buying from you. So why aren't you doing this on your own? And
interesting.
Yeah. And I just, and that was the push I needed to go out on my own. And I have never forgot that. And I really appreciate him giving me the confidence.
That's huge, right? Yeah. Especially if you were working at a different, for a different house. And that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And so now when the days, when there are those days where you're like, man, this really is a drag, you probably lean back on that and go, you know what, this is exactly where I need to be. I mean, that's cool. Yeah. How about you? Anything that anybody has shared with you at some time?
Don't give up, be persistent.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get discouraged by the no's or by the people that don't call you back or those kind of things. So just get out there and talk to more people.
Just see more people.
Just talk to more people, because for everyone, that says no, you're going to get to the one that's going to say yes, and you just got to keep chugging along. Talk to more people would be the short phrase that I would remind myself of.
Throw more pool on the wall.
And I gotta remember not to take it personal if somebody doesn't call back or they just disappear. You know what that's like when they just don't call you back. They don't respond anymore. And I've had a client who had his application in. Paramed had already been there, and it was just we needed one more piece of paper, and he was abducted by aliens as my only, and it's like, okay, it's not me.
Right.
It's not me. Something happened in his life. Yeah. Something got busy, so I just have to keep pushing along and saying it's not me. It's just that there's a lot. People go through a lot.
So Phil, the sun is shining. He says the video freezes up a bit. It might be a sunspot on the satellite. I'm not sure. We haven't seen the sun for a while here, so not sure what's going on. Everything's good on our end. Alex asked, "What's the biggest hurdle of being a solopreneur?" So you're an entrepreneur.
The biggest hurdle is probably not being lazy. It's very easy to get distracted by
Squirrel.
the cat, the cat that brings you a mouse, and you're trying to work, and now you've got or it's
still alive, so now you got a mouse running around,
or you're hungry, or there's laundry that needs done because you're working from home, and it's easy to get distracted. So that's probably the toughest hurdle, is to set a schedule, keep going, make a list, keep chugging along. And I kind of like to set start and end hours.
Okay.
Frank has a little bit harder trouble with that. I have to sometimes.
He doesn't have an
I
end hour.
No,
I have to sometimes say, okay, can we stop now?
Right. But you're in the grind, you're in the rhythm, you just keep hammering away.
Yep.
And so is that your daily struggle, is just those staying on task and avoiding those interruptions?
Yes, that's probably my biggest.
And I think that's true
hurdle.
for a lot of people who work out of the house.
Yeah.
Right. I know I have to, and I tell my wife the same thing, is I got to go to the studio. I got to get out of the house. Otherwise it's the same thing. Every time you walk by the refrigerator, or, let me just watch this next episode on Netflix while it's on, or let me catch the Oprah show. There's always something, there's always something at home.
the cat love. If you have cats, you can relate to this. Cats love walking across your keyboard.
Right.
When you're at your desk, or you got your laptop and you're doing something. Cats love to walk right in front of you, right across that keyboard. So yeah, distractions. But these days in this digital world we live in, the distraction is in your hand. It's that cell phone.
That smart device.
So it doesn't matter where you're at. You still got that to deal with. So the biggest thing is the again, being disciplined to put those things aside and keep moving along. And hey, I've got to do this. I've got to get this done in the next hour or two. When you're blocking out time to get work done, you got to have the discipline to just keep getting the work done and avoid the distractions, or
GSD, right?
Yeah.
Get shit done.
Yeah.
And of course, the voices that you're hearing besides mine are that of the Hostickas and the owners and people who run Hosticka Assurance Group. If people want to know more about you, they have questions, want to get in touch with you, how do they do that?
Well, you can call us. My number is 815-347-0181. You can reach us online at our website is hostickaassuranceGroup.com. And we're on Facebook, same thing, Hosticka Assurance Group. And we're around. If especially if you're local, you can find us. I'm out most every day at some event. I'm on the radio station a couple times.
Literally,
I'm here, there, and everywhere.
That's right. And we thank you. So visit them. Even if you just have questions and your agent or whoever you're working with is slow to get back with you, that's what you love to do, is educate the people, and you'd gladly take the time to talk with them.
Sure.
So Alex asks, is your goal to grow your business or mainly serve the community?
Yeah, I was kind of waiting for Frank to answer.
Well,
that one.
certainly, I think they do kind of go hand in hand. I think as you grow, if you're out there serving the community, which we do a lot, we work a lot with the Chamber of Commerce. I'm there part-time as an employee, but I do a lot part-time beyond that as well. And Christina's involved with the local Chamber of Commerce. She's on the board of directors and volunteers time there.
So she's your boss everywhere.
Yeah, she is. But so if you want to call that serving, we're serving the community. We're serving the local business community in that regard with our support of the chamber and the chamber members. And I think through that.
But you're not looking to bring on 3 new agents, or
no,
right?
No, we're not looking. It's us.
No.
The group, the Hosticka Assurance Group, is a group of 2.
Right. So you're looking to expand your book, yes, but
not that business. No, I don't want to manage employees. I don't want to, teach and bring on somebody and then teach and have to.
Love managing yourself.
Yeah, it's tough enough to manage myself.
I mean, we don't. You're not looking to become Hosticka.
No.
And we've both been in places where we've had employees, and I don't want any more employees.
Yeah. Well, and with what I do, the other company I'm involved with, Legal Shield, I've recruited people into that business previously, and out of the 75 or so people in the last 10 years, I haven't done any recruiting in 5 years or so, but I recruited people when I first got started in that. And none of those people are still with it for whatever reasons. Right. And part of that is, I didn't. I found out very quickly, especially in this independent sales space, managing people, No, not where I want to be spending my time.
And
I'd
when
rather
you're
be
working on commission only,
Yeah.
it's tough.
Right.
And then you try to bring somebody else on who's on commission only, and yeah, it's not. It's especially if they're not used to it.
Yep. I did that for years, and I'd always tell people, like, you work commission. How much you want to make this week? Make it by Wednesday. Take the rest of the week off.
Yep.
People look at me like, what?
Been there, done that.
I'm like, seriously, just if you need to make $500, go make $500 as fast as you can. Take the rest of the week off. I don't know. But everybody, by Saturday night, because they don't understand that. So we've had on Bill Hasse from Well Financial. We've had Phil Pace from Pace Insurance, and now you guys. So there's a lot of competition out there. How do you look at, or how do you handle your competition? Good question.
Yeah. Well, everybody's got competition. The way I look at it is there's plenty of business for everybody. The one example I use, like when I talk to people at the chamber that come to the chamber and wonder about competition and should I join the chamber? There's so many insurance people, there's so many realtors or whatever. I said, drive down the street and, they just put up a new Starbucks within a mile of an existing Starbucks.
And both of them are busy.
You think Starbucks would do that if there wasn't the population there to support it? There's Walgreens and CVS. CVS builds right across the street from Walgreens. McDonald's and Burger King are side by side.
Right.
The competition is
banks
everywhere
across the street here.
And, so the way we look at it, whether you have a brick and mortar and there's a sign out front with the insurance company you represent, or you're doing it as a home-based business, either way, it's all about getting out and talking to people, building relationships. And you know what? We couldn't handle everybody.
Right.
It's not possible.
Right.
And so there's plenty out there for everybody. All you got to do is go out, talk to more people, develop that relationship, build that know, like, and trust, as they say, and work with the ones that want to work with you. Cool. And don't worry about the rest.
And you have to find that person that you feel comfortable with, because the people you mentioned, they're great people, and I would do business with them if I wasn't selling it myself. But everybody, is going to make a different connection with somebody else, and they just need to find out who they, find that person. If they connect with them, fine. And
right there, and that's a key thing too. And I hope a lot of small business people are listening to this. Is you don't badmouth your competition. Your competition is there, and you guys really collaborate a lot with them because so many people have such good relationships. But you're not out there throwing darts at people saying, "Oh, well, Frank Hosticka, right?" I mean, it's you really embrace the competition as cohorts, not as an enemy.
Right.
And everybody does something a little bit different. Yeah. So, of all the people that you mentioned, we all have a niche that maybe we're a little stronger at than the other one.
Yeah.
So you just got to find that person.
Yeah. So Alex asked a great question, and I was wondering this too. Husband and wife in business together. How difficult is that? When do you turn it off? Are you watching the Late Show with Jimmy, or the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, and you're still talking business while you're having your tea at night? I mean, what is it? How do you guys work that out? And how do you
take a lot of vacations?
Yeah.
So take a lot of vacation.
We pretty much live our business 24/7. I mean, while we're sitting watching Netflix or whatever at night, we might not be talking about it. But if we're in the car going to dinner, and something comes up like, oh, so and so called today, and we'll talk about it. Yeah. It's never like it's off limits. Now I might pull him away from his computer at 5:00 and say, okay, you're done. But then he doesn't necessarily stop answering his phone.
Sure.
And so sometimes I have to say, can you just not answer?
Right.
Because I have
you don't have a problem.
I have an easier time shutting it off.
Yeah.
But I mean, if a client called me, I wouldn't not answer. But yeah.
Yeah. So how do we not bring it home
Yeah.
it's at home because we work from home. So yeah, I'm out of the house more. Christina's
Right.
at home more, working from home. But yeah, how do you not bring? No,
I mean-
it's there. It's always there. It's around. Just gotta. We turn it off. Hey, we get out. We've got things we do. We got grandchildren to chase after.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
We got travel plans to make. We've got friends to hang out with. We've got golfing to do. So
and the interesting thing is, I mean, I love all the guys that I've been in business with. Tim and Ron and now Pete. But I'm glad I don't go home to them. I mean, you know what I'm saying? That I love them dearly. But I'm glad, and I can, Alex probably enjoys, that I work with him, but he's probably really happy that he doesn't go home with me. Right.
Yeah.
So it's a difficult, sometimes balance that you have to do. And the cool thing is, it seems like you two have really, really figured out how to make that work, which is a blast. It makes work fun. Then.
We have. Well, it kind of shows how much we enjoy what we do also, because then we can talk about it and then we can also let it go and then get up the next day and do it all over again.
So Alex asks another question. He says, how do you define success? So here it is. We're looking to expand the book. It started kind of as a life insurance, and now we've wrapped in everybody's really life into it with the Legal Shield, identity theft, wills, those type of things. So you really have now kind of wrapped the entire life into this group that you guys have created with Hosticka Assurance Group. But how do you define success? Because some people will just define success as, all right, we hit 500,000. I just hired 3 employees. There's those goals, but you're just kind of looking to expand the book.
Well, I know this is going to sound kind of lame, but whenever I deliver a policy to me and that one family, that one person, that one couple, that's success to me.
Success.
I've given them something. I put something in place that will be there when they need it the most. And to me, that each individual policy is success. Whether I sell, 10 policies a year or 100, each one of those is success to me.
Yeah.
So.
And Tim Santos, hey brother, great. He's got a great new place over on Green Street as well. But he says to Frank, part-time is apparently now considered 24 hours a day.
Yeah, just about. Yeah.
That's part-time. Which 12 hours of the day are you working for, right?
Yeah. Which part?
That's it. Which part? So that is awesome. So the satisfaction and success is a job well done, and knowing that you've put your client in a great position that they're not going to have to worry. I mean, I was in banking for 20 years, and as a branch manager, you cannot believe how many people, families I saw just at each other's throat because there might have been a little bit of money in the account or something like this, but there was nothing else there, right? No will, no direction. Mm-hmm. And I joke because my wife's brother-in-law was named, my mother and father-in-law named him as executor. She's got 2 other sisters. And he's like, man, and I laughed at and I laughed at him. And he goes, why are you laughing? I go, you have to deal with 3 sisters when mom and dad pass. I said, good luck. I said, they either really like you and trust you or they hate you. Because that's a difficult thing. So when somebody actually has to cash in, I don't know if you've had that yet.
I have not been doing it long enough that I've actually had to deliver a check.
Right.
Fortunately that's so far so good.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, so on the Legal Shield side of things, I've had, God, I couldn't even tell you how many people actually use that. I mean, because that's a service. That's a neat thing about what the Legal Shield policy and the ID Shield policies that I sell. Those are things. ID Shield, not so more. That's more of a when it happens, just in case kind of thing. But the
Yeah.
Legal Shield is definitely one that is intended to be used and used often, used frequently. We encourage people to use it. And so cool stories I've got from that is people calling me and telling me, hey, I had to call the attorney yesterday. I had this happen, and I called them, and they called me back within an hour, and within a couple days, we had this thing straightened out. I was crapping in my pants that this was going to really be bad, and they took care of it. And this is awesome. Thank you, Frank.
Yeah.
And boy, I'm never letting this go.
I mean, your best client was what? O.J. Simpson? Is that right?
No.
I kid.
Yeah,
I
no.
joke. OJ, I'm sorry if you're listening.
But
but that's cool, because as you sit with a client now, so many people in life insurance, people who are purchasing, don't really understand the beneficiary ways and things like that. But now you're able to bring in and say, well, do you have a will set up as well? Here, let us help you with this, because if this and when this happens, and you know,
right.
there's got to be some things in place, and it doesn't seem like you have that. So you guys really can have taken the process of life insurance to really just making it as comfortable and easy as possible, and setting these families up in not just monetarily, but peace of mind. And I know a lot of life insurance people will say, well, you know, having that money is peace of mind. Not really. It's a stressful thing. If all of a sudden I've got $1 million, my wife has never had $1 million. And if I die, there's a lot of stress going on with that $1 million, right?
Yeah.
But
Could be, yeah.
There could
Sure.
be. And you guys really have kind of taken the whole family and said, listen, let's make sure this is all set up so that if this does happen, there will be some stress, but you don't have to worry about these things.
Right. Well, and that's having the conversations, on our business card, on some of our marketing material. We've got that question on there. Are you ready for tomorrow? That's the question we have. Are you ready for tomorrow? And that's a lot about what we do, is having those conversations with people. Are you ready for tomorrow? You got to have these conversations with friends, family, mostly friends, spouses, and things. What are your plans for when things happen? Yeah. Especially with aging parents, or you're having them yourself with your children, depending on where you're at in life. Hey, here's what we've planned out. Here's what's going to happen going forward, just so you know. And here's who to contact, who's here to call. But having those things in place, because when someone, especially if someone dies suddenly and unexpectedly, nobody's prepared for that.
Right.
But even someone we know, whose mother died. My parents have both passed in the last 5 or 6 years, and having prepared for some of those things makes it a lot easier to deal with it, because when it happens, now you've got grief.
Yeah.
Now you've got other things going on that need to be dealt with.
Mm-hmm.
And the last thing you want to do is having to be making financial decisions or other decisions of that nature, when you really need to be focused right now on grieving and dealing with that. Mm-hmm. And so by having things set up in advance, now you don't have to worry about what's going to happen, who's going to pay for this, how is this going to get taken care of, who's taking care of the kids. There's all these things that need to get talked about, worked out,
that most people don't think of on a daily basis, day-to-day basis.
But having some of those things set up in advance, that's what we're here to talk about with people. And again, yes, we're our best power partners. I'm sitting talking to people, and I start talking to people about the legal side of things and will preparation, healthcare power of attorney, those kind of things. And I'm not an attorney, by the way, so I don't dispense legal advice. I give you access to it.
And he doesn't play one on TV.
Yeah, and I don't play one on TV. And that conversation then goes, well, okay, so then how are you going to pay for the funeral, all these things? Hey, life insurance, funeral trust, those kind of things come into play. Same thing. Christina's having that conversation with people about life insurance. Okay, what are you doing with that death benefit?
Phil Nasarino, of course, Phil from our good friends over at Frequent CRS Products. Give him a call at 847-704-0355. Says Legal Shield saved his butt a few years back. He says, thanks, Frank.
You bet. Thank you, Phil. Thanks for trusting me and being a client.
That's it. So as you're doing this, and you guys are power partnering, together. And Frank burns the chicken for dinner. I mean, do you hold that against him on the business side? Like, listen, you burnt the chicken. I need you to go out and give me 6 referrals. This is ridiculous.
Wow. Oh boy. Thanks, Ken. You're putting good ideas in her head.
I was gonna think we might have. He's a great cook. We have more issues with laundry.
Yeah. Do I owe you a referral for wrinkling your sweater the other day? Is that what you're saying?
In my house, laundry is 50-50, right?
That's about what it is.
Yeah.
It's just that
I get it dirty, she cleans it.
Oh, he washes it, I fold it and put it away. That's
I kid.
We equally
I'll get hit
dirty
when I get home for that one. Right? And again, this is the Hosticka Assurance Group here with us today on McHenry County BS, the show that spotlights local McHenry County businesses. If people want to know more information about you, or ask you questions, or do business with you, or find out how it is that a husband and wife are so successful at business, where can they find you?
815-347-0181. HostickaAssuranceGroup.com. Hosticka Assurance Group on Facebook. And reach out. Love to have a conversation with you. Talk about those things. Again, I put a lot of time into doing just that. Meeting with people to have conversation.
Yeah.
Talk to them. What can I do to help them, connect them with resources and people to help them with whatever it is they're doing or they need beyond the services that we offer with Hosticka Assurance Group. That's kind of what makes it all work and gets me out of bed and gets me going every morning is who do I meet today? Who can I talk to today? And how can I help them out? So happy to have those conversations with anyone.
So after very successful careers, as we would say, for several years, and then we strike out into that entrepreneurial field. And we ask this too with everybody is, what is something as a business owner you wish someone would have told you when you started your business? Good question.
That not everybody's, as much as you believe in what you sell, not everybody's going to say yes.
Yeah.
Because, when I first started with Legal Shield, I ran around with my hair on fire and I thought everybody I talked to was, this is a no-brainer.
Yes.
Who can say no to this? And lots of people.
Right.
So for many reasons.
Yeah.
And that's so yeah. That, and when you first get started, at least for me, it was, well, people are going to say no. People aren't going to get it, no matter how well you explain it.
Yeah.
They're still going to go, nope, that ain't for me. That's a scam. That's a ripoff. That doesn't make any sense. Why would I want to spend money on that?
Yeah.
So
ask Phil. It saved his butt, right?
Yeah.
How about you? What is one thing you wish somebody would have told you?
I think it's just that probably it was told, but maybe not listened to. It's a numbers game. You have to, you want more, like you look at how many people you met, how many people you sat down with, or, then how many people that you gave quotes to, and then how many people actually became clients. So then you have that number and it's just like, okay, if I want more, I've got to do more of the first thing is meet people. And then I have to have more, appointments and more quotes. And, so it's just, if you want more, you still gotta work harder. It's not everybody's gonna, everybody's
gonna convert to a paying customer.
Right. It's not is what I call the field of dreams. It's not build it and they will come. Hey, we just incorporated.
Yeah. Cause that was the life we had before. And when we worked, before at the Postal Service, it's like, somebody wanted to mail a letter, they had to buy a stamp, and they either came in and bought it or they didn't, and I didn't care. I still got paid.
That's right. It's like
you don't want to mail your letter, don't mail it, but I'm still going to get my paycheck.
That's right.
So it's just you got to really work hard for the money you make.
Yeah, I think that's fantastic because a lot of entrepreneurs, especially new entrepreneurs, when I say that, people who are just striking out, kind of have that mentality of build it and they will come.
Yep.
I know I did for several months. And you and I have talked about this, Frank. I walk around, hey, hi, I'm Kid Jones, 21-6 Annette, the owner. How are you? And then, like, oh, that guy didn't want to show. You're supposed to sign up, with me because I just told you who I was. And I was more proud of saying, it's that kind of that goal achieved no longer motivates is, hey, I've done it. I've incorporated. Here we are. Yes. And then now what? And it's that work hard piece that is like, okay, that's the easy part. That first step is the easy part, getting incorporated to do those things. Now the hard part is go out and make a living. Go out and get it and do it right.
Mhm.
Now this question is you can answer. You don't have to, but you can answer. Is life insurance? People understand or are okay spending $500-600 a month on property and casualty insurance. So auto insurance, homeowner insurance, things,
Sure.
without even thinking about it. They will spend $10,000 a year on health insurance. Now, of course, they don't see that come out of their check because their employer pays half or whatever. So now they're okay spending all of this money, tens of thousands of dollars a year on property and casualty and health insurance. But as soon as you say life insurance, I can't afford it. And a life insurance policy, it's somebody, a 50-year-old that's in pretty decent health like myself, maybe $250, maybe, right? A month. That might be on the high end, for maybe 200,000. I don't know. I'm just throwing numbers out there. So 200. So literally, I'm okay spending tens of thousands of dollars on money that I probably may never use. I may never go because now doctor, your checkups are free. But if I don't get sick and have to go to the doctor or need a prescription, I didn't use that money. If I don't get in an auto accident or my house doesn't burn down, I'm never using that money. But I'm okay spending that on a monthly basis. But as soon as somebody says, "Hey, you need to insure your life," I don't have the money for that. I'm sorry. Why is that?
I think that it's just honestly, some people, I think it's the way they were brought up, what they were taught.
Mm-hmm.
Because some kids, they know that, hey, this is one of the things that I have to have.
Yeah.
And so
I was taught that. My father, I learned that at a young age.
Because he wanted to kill you.
Yeah.
And so those are the easy people who get it. They understand it. It's just finding the right policy. They get it. It's those people that are like, yeah, I don't have the money, but you look at what they pay for their cell phone, what they pay for maybe their internet or their, whatever other cable, whatever they have.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like, okay, but that's more important. So,
right.
But that it's just, to me,
Mercedes.
they don't understand. They don't understand that this needs to be the priority.
Right.
My daughter, I'm still trying to teach her, we still pay for her life insurance policy, but she knows that, you're going to have to start taking over paying for this because this is one of your needs. This is just as important as that house payment. That car
payment, the other
the
5
insurance.
Kids hope you're not listening.
Right.
Because you're already paying for your own.
She didn't say which daughter.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's just
Christmas is going to be fantastic.
It's them learning that this is what you need to have. Now I'm working with a 23-year-old that's not relative at all, and but he had to contribute to his grandfather's funeral because there was no money for the funeral. Because all the money, he was sick in and out of the hospital and used up their life savings, and they didn't have life insurance policies. So when his grandfather passed away, all the siblings are collecting money, and he at 23 was giving part of his savings to help help for the funeral. So it's like, that's like, to me, that's like just breaks my heart because it's like,
You're 23.
But he gets it now. He understands. He's
getting a life insurance policy for himself.
And he's getting a life insurance policy. So it's like it's just, if you don't know it, you just don't know what you don't know.
Yeah. So one of the things we've done, and I did it before we were in the industry ourselves is when my kids were young, they got life insurance policies. When my son had a son, I got a life insurance policy on my grandson. Why? Not that you want to benefit or get some kind of death benefit from your child dying, but it's about instilling that there's some value in this to them and the importance of doing that, because all kinds of things can happen when between that child being young and them growing up that can make them, one, uninsurable, or make insurance very expensive, where now you've at least put something in place, and you put something in place that is building cash value.
Right.
And now when they're old enough to make a decision on your own, you've given them some money to start with that they can convert into an adult policy, take it out and use it for college or other things. So it's all about instilling those responsibilities or the value of money in people, so that in younger people, so as they get older, they get it, they understand it.
And I think that's the big thing too, to what you said, is I'm not insuring my life. I'm insuring the quality of life for my family when I pass.
Yep, exactly. Or maybe, better yet, you know what? You live long and healthy, and you know what? Now you can even start using some of that cash value in it for yourself to enjoy retirement, if you've done it the right way, if you've set it up the right way. And that's all part of that customizing of those plans and doing it to fit people's needs.
I told my kids, I'm like, listen, when you just put me in a pine box, burn me up, throw me away. There's no, don't get too fancy. Just what? Yeah, right in the backyard. We live out in Wonder Lake. Nobody's going to ask a question.
Put them in. Just do a burial at sea. You can sink into the bottom of Wonder Lake.
Right there at the Wonder Lake. But it's true, and I think because people think of insurance that I'm insuring because I don't have $5,000 when somebody hits my car, so it's easy for me to spend $500 on a deductible. That's what they think, or hey, if that branch falls on my roof, I don't have $6,000 to do my roof right now, but I got $500 or $1,000 for that deductible. And when you talk about life insurance, that's a finality type thing. And I think they're like, well, I don't care. I'm not going to be around. Yeah, that's pretty selfish.
That is very selfish.
It's very selfish, right? Yeah. So that policy is really designed to help the people that are still there.
Yes.
Right? Can't replace you. But in my case, I'm the major breadwinner. And if something were to happen to me, where do I leave my wife and kids? Right. Like, oh crap, I'm living in a van down by the river. If I don't insure properly, right? Now, Alice and I are a lot like you. I mean, when we first got married, hey, we set it up, and for the both of us, it was less than $100. We were kids. Right. We were 22. We got married, so a nice life insurance policy was less than $100, or right around $100 a month for both of us, whatever. And somewhere along the way, we lost track of it, stopped paying on it because we moved from Iowa to Illinois, and now when I was 49, I'm like, I better get some life insurance, and it's a lot more.
Hey, adulting. It's all part of adulting, and teaching your kids how to adult.
Yeah. And we have literally sat, and just kind of kicked ourselves going, if we would have just kept that, where it would be right now. And for less, I got 4 kids. We can't go out to eat for under $100. Right. So, I mean, literally for the cost to go out to Chili's with the family each month, we would have had, and it was a large, it was probably, $250 or $500 on us. I mean, it was great.
Well, and the value, if it was a universal policy or whatever, universal life or whatever, a policy that accumulated cash value, you would have far exceeded that death benefit in additional cash value, which now you could borrow against or turn into an annuity when the time comes. So there are so many things that you can do with life insurance that can set you up for financial health in the future.
Well, what I'm finding
at a very low cost.
What I'm finding out there too is a lot of people have term,
right?
And and then they want to get term, or they're fine right now because they have term. And I try to get them to understand, okay, if you bought a term policy when you were 30, are you going to, and it's a 20-year policy, are you going to die when you're 50?
Right.
Well, I hope not. And it's like, okay, well, what do you have? What's going to happen then? Because realize 20 years later, you might not be in the same house.
Even 50 to 70.
So, I mean, there's just, so that's kind of like one of the things I like to, help them understand is like, there's time and a place for term, and there's a time and a place for permanent policies, and help them understand why you would have each one and how to plan for the future.
That's people have trouble. We don't teach that.
Yeah.
I mean,
so I sit there, and that's what I do when I sit down with somebody. I'm like, okay, put yourself in this situation. What if, and I, it's probably hard to sit with me because I have them dying at several different points in their life, and they're like, and it's like, okay, what would it be like? Just think about it. If you died tomorrow, or if you died in 10 years, or, and so I have them kind of go home to your husband and then talk this through. And what is going to make you feel comfortable? What amount of money?
Yeah.
Because I don't sit there and say, oh, you make this much money. This is how much you owe on your home. And this is how much net worth you have. So this is how much you should have. I don't do that. I try to help them to understand what's that dollar amount.
Yeah. What is that? What does that feel good? Yeah. Absolutely. All right, we're on the back minute again. I just thanks so much for being here.
Hey, thanks for having us.
This show again is all about spotlighting our local small businesses, because that's what makes McHenry County great. It's what it thrives on, which is absolutely fantastic. And again, if people wanted to get in touch with you at Hosticka Assurance Group, where would they do that?
www.hostickaassuranceGroup.com is our website, and there's a contact us button on there. My phone number, cell phone, is 815-347-0181. Would love to talk to you about Legal Shield, ID Shield, and or schedule an insurance review. Let Christina sit down and look at what you might have already with life insurance or long-term care, and do a review and tell you if what you got is good or might need a tweaking or whatever. And we're as low pressure as sales gets, so you don't have to worry about high pressure sales or anything. We'll help you make a good buying decision.
And here's what I'll say. We'll be back next week with a roundtable, but Thanksgiving's coming up. Take a look at some of the conversations. Take a look at the people around that table. Have some conversations with them about what they're doing for that.
Absolutely.
If they have or they haven't. And if they haven't, reach out to Hosticka Assurance Group. They'll be able to have that good conversation. But trust me, take a look and see, grandma's getting kind of old.
Yeah.
Or wow, look, there's a new baby. Have we done anything to protect that? So there's a bunch of neat things, but right now, especially going into the holidays, it's a big deal. So again, thanks for being here. Thanks to Prime Media. Thanks to Wella Financial for supporting the show. And we'll see you next week.
Thank you. Good job. See how easy that was?
You were awesome.